Once upon a time, in a small African village wrapped in nature's embrace, lived a man named Kwam. Kwam was well respected in the village, known for his wisdom and kindness. He had a wife as beautiful as the morning sun and a son named Kofi, who was 10 years old. Kofi was the apple of his father's eye, a boy with a smile that could light up the darkest room. The village was surrounded by lush green fields, and the air was always filled with the sounds of chirping birds and distant drums. Every morning, the villagers gathered at the central square to exchange greetings and share news. In this village, where every sunrise brought new stories, Kwame made a big decision. He wanted to marry another wife. His first wife couldn't have more children, and in their village, having a big family was seen as a blessing. So, Kwame talked to his wife about it. She loved him and wanted him to be happy, so with a heavy heart, she agreed. Kwame chose Afia, a woman known for being kind and graceful. The whole village got excited. Kwame's getting married again. They all talked about it. Kofi's mother, even with a storm of mixed feelings brewing inside her, helped with the preparations. She made sure everything was just right, showing her love and respect for Kwam. On the wedding day, the village was full of music and bright colors. Drums sounded loud and strong, and people danced, their feet making patterns in the dirt. Afia looked really beautiful, like a queen, and Kofi's mother stood next to her, trying to hide her worries with a smile. The aroma of freshly prepared dishes, from spicy stews to roasted yams, filled the air as the celebration went on. Afia, the bride, stepped into Kwam's happy home like a gentle breeze. At first, Afia seemed like the kindest person. She smiled a lot, talked softly, and helped around the house. Kofi watched his new stepmother, curious and hopeful. Maybe, just maybe, this change is going to be good, he thought. Afia often joined Kofi and his mother in the evenings as they sat under the big baobab tree in their yard, listening to stories about their ancestors. But life in the village was about to take a turn, like a river that changes its course. Afia's true nature would soon reveal itself, changing the lives of Kwam, his wife, and little Kofi in ways they never expected. And so, in this small village under the vast African sky, the story of Kofi and his stepmother began to unfold. Right after Afia's wedding, everything seemed quiet and peaceful. But this didn't last long. Afia, who had been nice at first, started showing a different side. She wasn't the kind person Kofi and his mother thought she was. Afia's voice changed. Where she used to speak softly, she now spoke in a mean and harsh way, especially to Kofi. Things that used to make her happy now made her angry. Kofi's mother, who always knew what to do, noticed this change. She took Kofi aside one day and said, "Stay away from Afia as much as you can. We don't want any trouble." Kofi didn't really get it. He asked, "Mother, you always tell me Afia is my second mother. Why stay away from her?" His mother, as wise as an owl, just smiled and then repeated, "Just don't get too close to her. Let's keep our peace, please, my son." Kofi didn't really understand, but he trusted his mother. Then a big problem happened. One day, while doing his everyday work, Kofi went to get water. He took Afia's special calabash, a pretty container adorned with intricate carvings. But something bad happened. On his way back, Kofi tripped on a stone he didn't see. The calabash fell and broke. Kofi felt very sad. When he got home, tears in his eyes, holding the broken calabash, Afia got very angry. She shouted a lot, saying things that hurt Kofi deeply. Hearing the noise, Kofi's mother came quickly. She tried to protect Kofi, but Afia was really mad. The home, which used to be full of laughter, now had a lot of anger in it. From then on, Afia became even meaner. She didn't like anything Kofi did and was always finding faults. Kofi, who was once happy and free, became careful and sad. Afia's bad treatment changed him. The people in the village didn't know about the problems in Kwom's house. Life went on as usual for them. But for Kofi, everything felt different. He missed the happy times with his mother's laughter. Those days felt like they were gone forever. In the middle of the village, where every home and tree had its own tale, something very sad happened in Kwom's house. Kofi's mother, who was always so strong and happy for her family, got very sick. The energy and joy she used to bring to their home faded away because of her illness. The village native doctor, a wise old man who knew a lot about plants and old healing ways, was called to help. He brought his bags filled with dried plants and special roots. He said prayers and mixed up his healing drinks. All the people in the village came together, hoping and praying for her to get better, hoping and praying for her to get better. But even with the native doctor's hard work, Kofi's mother got worse. Her bright eyes lost their shine, and the sound of her laughter, which once filled their house, was gone. Kofi felt so sad and helpless watching his mother grow weaker. Then, on a morning when the African sun was shining bright, Kofi's mother passed away. Everyone in the village felt sad for Kwame and Kofi. They cried with them, following their traditions. They held a big funeral with singing and dancing to celebrate her life and send her spirit off to the place of the ancestors. The funeral feast included bowls of steaming rice, fried plantains, and freshly brewed palm wine, a bittersweet moment for everyone. Kofi felt lonelier than ever. Their house, once so warm and full of life, now felt empty and cold. He missed his mother's advice and protection. Without her, Kofi felt even more at the mercy of Afia's mean ways. Kwame was stuck between his sadness and his role as a husband. He didn't like how Afia treated Kofi, but his beliefs and the village's views about having more than one wife made things complicated for him. He knew he needed to do something, but he was torn between his love for his son and his duty as a husband. Afia didn't seem to care about the family's sadness and kept being mean to Kofi. Kofi, who used to be so lively and full of joy, now seemed like just a shadow of himself, always sad. During this time of sorrow and loss, life in the village went on, but for Kofi and Kwam, everything was different. They had to live without the woman who was their strength and light. This loss changed their lives, showing them how quickly happiness could break and how life could change in unexpected ways. Kwam, seeing how tired Kofi was every day, grew worried and asked, "Why does Kofi have to do all this by himself?" But Afia always had excuses. She would say Kofi is just being lazy. He needs to learn to work hard, all while touching her big belly to remind Kwame she was going to have a baby soon. Kwam grew more upset about how Afia treated Kofi. He thought long and hard. Just a few years after Fia gave birth to a beautiful baby girl, Quame decided to marry another wife, as was the custom in their village. And so Quame got married again, this time to Amma. Amma was well known in the village for being very beautiful and having a kind heart. When Amma came to live in their house, it was like a cool, calming wind had entered their lives. Kofi, who was still very sad about losing his mother, watched Amma carefully at first. But he soon found that Amma was genuinely nice to him. Amma reminded Kofi of his own mother. She would spend time with Kofi, talk to him, and help him with work around the house. Little by little, Kofi started to feel better, as though Amma was helping him heal from his sadness. Amma even told Kofi stories about her own childhood, making him laugh for the first time in months. But then, things started to change. Amma, who had been so kind, started acting differently. She began treating Afia's little girl badly, just like Afia had treated Kofi before. She would send her on errands in the hot afternoon, make her wash clothes for both her and Kofi, and sometimes even refuse to give her food, telling her to go meet your wicked mother. Amma, who everyone thought was so kind, was now being mean, just like Afia had been. Afia, seeing how her daughter was being treated, felt very upset. She realized this was how she had made Kofi feel. It was hard for her to see her own daughter being treated so badly. She wanted to help her daughter, but didn't know how to make things better for their family. For Kofi, seeing this brought mixed feelings. On one hand, he thought it was fair for Afia to experience what it was like to be treated that way. But on the other hand, he felt sad because he knew how much it hurt to be treated badly, and he didn't like seeing another child go through that. This change brought many emotions into their home. Amma, who everyone thought would make things better, now made them wonder. Afia started to realize how much she had hurt Kofi before. Kofi, seeing all this, began to think deeply about forgiveness and what it meant to truly understand how others feel. Afia, seeing her daughter upset, couldn't take it anymore. She went to Quame, shaking and upset, and asked him, "Why do you let Amma be so mean to our daughter?" Tears filled her eyes. Quame, who usually didn't say much, looked at Afia and said something profound. "Afia, you reap what you sow. What you did to Kofi has come back in a way you didn't expect. It's important to treat everyone with kindness, whether they are your own child or not." The way Amma is acting was to teach you a lesson, to show you how much you hurt Kofi. The room went quiet. Afia was shocked by what Kwam said. Then Kwame revealed something even bigger. He told her that he never really married Amma. This had all been a plan by the villagers. They had seen how harsh Afia had been to Kofi before and after his mother passed away. Together, they came up with the idea of bringing Amma into Kwam's home to show Afia the pain of her actions. Afia felt ashamed. She realized how badly she had treated Kofi. She looked at Kofi and saw him not just as a stepson, but as a child who had been deeply hurt by her actions. Afia felt truly sorry. She turned to Kofi and said softly, "Kofi, I'm so sorry. I was wrong, mean, and I hurt you. I can't change what happened, but I promise to be better now." She cried as she said this, meaning every word. Then she spoke to Quame. "Quame, I've caused so much trouble in our family. I'm really sorry for all the pain I've caused. Can you forgive me?" She was truly remorseful and hoped to make things right in their family. After that, things in their family started to improve. Afia didn't just apologize, she began to act with kindness. She worked to fix her relationship with Kofi. Their home, once full of sadness and upset, slowly became a peaceful and happy place again. The people in the village saw the changes in Kwom's family and talked about it. The story of how Afia changed and became better spread around. It was a story about the power of saying sorry and forgiving. It showed that what we do can come back to us, and it taught the value of empathy, understanding, and sharing the feelings of others. Most importantly, it showed the power of forgiveness. Forgiving doesn't just free the person who did wrong, it frees the person who forgives. And so, in a small African village, a story of hardship turned into a story of hardship, turned into a story of healing. It reminded everyone that even when we make mistakes, there is always a chance to make things right, to learn, and to grow. This story, like the gentle river flowing by the village, carried a message of hope and the power of kindness. Thank you for joining us in exploring this heartfelt story of forgiveness and transformation. It's a reminder that even the toughest situations can lead to growth, understanding, and healing. If you enjoyed this tale, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for more stories filled with lessons and inspiration. Until next time, stay kind and stay hopeful.